Hello, darling. Are you looking to learn how to play TFT and don't know how? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm going to break this video down into 8 sections to get you started. 1. Basics. 2. Structure. 3. Units. 4. Economy, 5 levels, 6 items, 7 starting augments, and 8 unique champion augments. Let's jump right in with the basics then, shall we? To put it simply, TFT is a game in which you put champions which have matching traits on a board and try to become stronger. But what does that mean? Let's go a little bit more in depth with an example. For this game, I decided to use the champions that belong to the Invoker trait as I think it's fairly beginner friendly. What I'm trying to do here is find characters that have the Invoker trait to make my team stronger. The more characters I have that belong to a trait, the stronger my team will become. With an Invoker team, for example, every 3 seconds my units gain mana, which will allow them to use their abilities faster. The green bar above a character represents their health and the blue bar represents their mana. When the blue bar becomes full, the character will then be able to use their ability. Don't worry, I understand it's a lot of information to take in all at once, so just stick with me. Structure. If you look at the top of your screen, there is a small tab that shows you the structure of the game. The 2 swords crossing means a player versus player round. The cog in the middle is a carousel round in which you don't fight and you select a champion that has an item above its head from a carousel. A chest, which is an augment selection round, which I will talk about more in depth in section 8. And the monster symbols are player versus environment rounds. Next to your opponent's names will be 2 swords also. These are the people who you will be fighting in your next battles. Units. There are different champions that cost different amounts. The standard rules are grey costs, so 1 gold, green are 2 gold, blue are 3 gold, purple are 4 gold, and gold are 5 gold. The strongest unit you can make is a 3-star unit. Let me explain. Every time you find 3 of the same unit, that unit upgrades. Every unit starts at 1 star. Finding 3 of the same unit upgrades that unit to a 2-star unit, and finding 9 of that unit upgrades it to a 3-star unit. The more expensive units tend to have stronger abilities, especially when you upgrade them. For example, a 3-star 4-cost character will be doing a lot more for your team than a 3-star 1-cost character. The little button located here allows you to refresh your store to find the units that you may potentially need. Be careful, however, because it does cost 2 gold every time you reroll, and it can become pretty expensive if you start to become reckless with it. Units will also tell you whether they belong in the backline or the front line of your team. As a newer player, make sure you use this to place your characters where they're supposed to be. Also, once you purchase a unit, it won't immediately be placed on your board if your board is already full. You have a bench located here, which can house up to 9 champions. You will want to use this space when looking to find multiple of the same champion to upgrade their star level. Also, if you want to sell a unit, all you need to do is simply click on the character, drag it to the shop area, and let go. Every single round, the shop will refresh. So, if you see a unit that you really want, but you don't have the money to afford it, not a problem. Just press this little lock icon here and you can save it for the next round. Economy. We can break this economy down into 4 segments. Passive income, interest, streaks, and gold per win. Let's start with passive income. Passive income is the flat amount of gold you receive every round. You start off receiving 2 gold on round 1-2, then 3 gold on 1-3, and 4 gold on round 1-4. From 2-1 onwards, you receive 5 gold every round until the end of the game. Interest is determined by how much gold you have saved. Every 10 gold saved is an additional 1 gold interest every round. For example, if you have 10 gold saved, you will receive an extra 1 gold at the end of the round as interest. Likewise, if you have 40 gold saved, you will receive an extra 4 gold at the end of the round as interest. This continues up until 50 gold saved, which is the maximum interest you can make of 5 gold per round unless you have an augment, but I will explain about that later. Every time you go on a winning or losing streak, you earn more gold. At 2 to 3 wins or losses, you receive an extra 1 gold. At 4 wins or losses, you receive 2 gold. And at 5+ wins or losses, you receive an extra 3 gold. Please note that these are streak values. If you are on a streak of 5 and you lose, you won't receive the additional 3 gold until you start to go on a win or lose streak again. Gold per win is fairly simple to understand. When you win a PvP round, you receive 1 extra gold. To contextualize this for you, if I have 50 gold saved, I'm on a win streak of 6, and I beat my opponent, I will receive 5 passive gold, 5 interest gold, 3 streak gold, and 1 win gold, totaling 14 gold. How are you doing there? Are you hanging in? I know it's a lot, but please just take your time. TFT is such a fun game once you know how to play it, so just stick with me and you'll be the best player you can possibly be. Levels. The easiest way to explain levels, which is located here on your screen, is by knowing the number displayed. Your level is how many units you can have on your board. To simplify, if I'm level 6, I can have 6 units placed on my board. You gain 2 XP for free after every single round, and purchasing XP to upgrade your level costs 4 gold and you receive 4 XP. Levels and economy go hand in hand, and they're important to pay attention to as you may need 6 slots to fit in that extra unit that will massively buff your team. However, if you're neglecting your economy, you won't be able to afford the XP to level up and put that additional unit in. So make sure you're managing your economy effectively so that you can manage your levels effectively. Items. Items are really confusing in TFT if you haven't played League of Legends before, and it can be really intimidating. Every carousel round, you will be able to pick up a champion that contains an item above their head. The items from the carousel in the early portion of the game will be components, and the items in the later stages of the games will be completed items. You need 2 item components to make a completed item, and I will attach a cheat sheet here on the screen and in the description box below that I always use, even as a veteran player, as the items are always changing between seasons. Certain items will go better with certain characters. For example, if your character is a tanky frontline, look for Giant Belt, Negatron Cloak, Chain Armor, and if your champion is an AP carry backline, look for Tears, Needlessly Large Rods, and Gauntlets. One item that is unique to the other items is a spatula. When you combine a spatula with an item component, it becomes a unique trait. You can then put that unique trait on a champion to then give them the trait of that item. Starting augments. At the start of the game, 3 circles will appear on the floor and will have tabs on the side of your screen. The symbols on the floor match the symbols on the side. For example, this circle symbol titled Ionia means that I can use a unit sitting on my bench and apply one of their traits to my team without them actually needing to be placed on my board. After reading all the augments, right click to run over to the circle that you would like and hope it becomes selected. Unfortunately, this game I didn't get the augment that I wanted personally, but not to worry. For this game, we received the Freljord augment instead, which means you receive an empowered completed item at a later stage in the game. Unique champion augments. Before the start of the game, there is this little bubble in which you select a champion to affect the augments you receive during gameplay. Augments are unique buffs that you receive 3 times during a game that affect how you choose to play. Augments also have 3 different styles: Iron, Gold, and Prismatic. Iron augments are the weakest, and Prismatic augments are the strongest. For example, one Iron augment might make your units in the backline attack 7% faster when they're below 50% health, whereas the Prismatic equivalent of this augment might make your backline attack 25% faster when below 50% health. I'm just making this up as an example, but you get the idea. Unique buffs to your team that everyone in the game gets to choose from. So you know how I was talking about the maximum interest being 5 gold when you have 50 gold saved? Well, I kind of lied, but not really, so just hear me out. When you select Tahm Kench, this weird looking frog dude, as your unique champion, you will always receive one of his unique augments, which will either be Iron, Gold, or Prismatic. For this game, I received a Gold augment, which means that I receive 12 gold now, and my maximum interest is increased to 7. This means if I hold 70 gold at one time, every round I'll receive an extra 7 gold as interest. When the augments appear, you will have 1 champion-specific augment and 2 random augments. There are so many different augments to choose from, and you can reroll them each once if you don't particularly like them. Just note, if you reroll the champion-specific augment, you won't receive a different augment from that champion you have selected. If collecting gold to scale into late game isn't your thing, but you like to have stronger units at the start of the game, perhaps try Lee Sin, or if items are more important to you, try Ezreal. Finding what works for you is important for you to have the most fun. Also, trying new things can be exciting too. Sometimes augments can offer you an emblem to put on your character, or just offer you an additional point in a specific trait without needing a character. Now, with all this information, let's describe my team composition and how I got there. So I have 3 frontline characters consisting of Galio, Taric, and Shen. Galio for the Invoker trait, Taric for the Bastion Targon trait, and Shen for the Bastion Invoker trait. I then have Cassiopeia and Melio towards my backline, both for the Invoker trait. Behind them, I have Aphelios for the Targon trait, and Ryze for the Wanderer and Invoker trait. And across from them, I have Soraka for the Invoker Targon trait and Karma for the Invoker trait. All this, with the addition of my Invoker augment, grants me 8 Invoker, 3 Targon, 1 Wanderer, and 2 Bastion. My augments I selected were 2 from my unique champion Tahm Kench, with 1 granting me gold and increased interest, and another granting me gold every round for 4 rounds. The third augment I selected was an Invoker crest. I placed tank items on my frontline Taric, AP tank destroyer execute items on my Karma, and AD and attack speed items on my Aphelios. All this knowledge and confusion went into one game, which led to my victory. I know this is a lot to take in, so I appreciate if you stayed with me this far. If I have explained anything poorly and you still need more information, please leave a comment and I will respond as soon as possible. I'm not a new player to this game mode, and I understand there may be basic features to me that I have missed out that may confuse you, so please let me know if you have any further queries. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this video and continue to support me and my channel by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. And as always, thank you very much for watching and have a lovely day. Goodbye!